Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to this cool video about layouts from More Maps 1.0. This is a mod for Deserts of Kharak from the Homeworld franchise, and it's very cool. We're going to talk about why. Oh, pause. I get it. So having more maps in your game is really cool. It's more than just like new textures and more like lighting effects, which are nice to have, but you also get new types of gameplay. For example, here's a simplified version. Say a new map. We have a map here, and there's one dune, one high point, one strategic area, and I'm going to send my units there. But say if I have one big one, I have to make a choice between, say, this other map where there's two strategic areas. So by having more maps, we get more variations of these strategic areas and more types of gameplay. So in practice, we get things like canyons, or where there's like several choke points and different high grounds areas and blockers areas where you can't go in the map. You can't drive up these canyons. And layouts, More Maps 1.0 also gives us the opportunity to make new layouts for totally new types of gameplay, such as this 3-person free-for-all map where it's balanced. We didn't have this type of gameplay in the original release, but we can make these sort of things using More Maps 1.0. So what do you need to get started? First, you need a concept, like a starting idea for a game. Software, you need Deserts of Kharak, More Maps 1.0 installed, as well as a web browser. Oh, what do I need for making your own? This is a tutorial. This is a tutorial for making your own layouts. That's what it is. So if you want to make your own layouts, this is what you need to do it. And finally, in this video, we're going to talk about the skills required to make your own layouts. I'm going to provide the basic syntax as well as the layout tags. What are layouts? Layouts change just certain attributes of a map. They're going to change your spawn locations, your resources, the artifacts, and the extraction zones. They don't change things like the dunes, the height of the dunes, or the colors, textures of the map. Layouts are retrieved from a file or a web page, and then they're going to overwrite those attributes for just the next match only. And layouts are easy to make. You can make them. I'm going to show you how. So this is basically Tombs of the Ancients without a layout. I had to spawn in a spawning location just to get started here so we could load the map. But otherwise, you'll see there's no resources, there's no extraction zones. This is just sort of the blank map. Here we have that same map, but with a layout. And we were given our spawn locations here, resources, artifacts, extraction zone, additional units, these tornadoes are actually units, as well as blockers. So blockers, you'll see this carrier has to path around them because they can't pass straight through. And we've added that in as an extra feature here of this map so that for the type of gameplay that it was designed for. You're also going to see that the bounds of the map are different from the previous slide, where they are way out here. These are the bounds of this giant map, and that's kind of in its natural state how big it's going to be. But with the layout, it's adjusted to fit the game that it's designed for. This is what a layout looks like. It's kind of like code, but also it's readable, so I can see what this is, and I can sort of understand what it is. You know, like I can sort of understand this and make sense to me. And this is useful because this is accessible to more people than getting into the dirty gritty stuff of the underlying code. And that's where More Maps 1.0 comes in. It interprets these basic files into Deserts of Kharak and makes it really easy for us non-programmers to go in and adjust some files and make them playable in our game. That's the really cool thing about this mod. Super cool. That being said, it also it requires the things that we put in to be in a certain format. I can't just go in here and write things like put the resources in the middle of the map. Type. I can't just write that because More Maps doesn't know how to interpret that for that. Right? So everything has to follow a certain format or a certain syntax. And that means things like these brackets. What are they called? Pointy brackets? Who knows? Fuck. When they start a tag, spawns, and end it, end spawns, everything in between has to be about the spawns. If I put things like resources in here, the More Maps mod is not going to understand what to do with those. With those resources, it's not going to add them in as we expect. Also, you'll see here there's things like the spawn team equals and then quotes here. Whoa. This is the sort of thing this is where it's expecting to get an answer from you. It's expecting a value to assign those attributes to. And if I'm going to start modding or creating my own layouts, I don't have to write this whole thing. I don't have to go and figure that out. What I have to do is just go to something that already works, copy it, paste it in here. Copy, whatever. Delete it, paste it, and then just change these attributes around. To where I want them, and then get it to load this file. So a great way to start is find something that already works. And you can do that by going into where you installed the maps, the More Maps mod, and grab something that already works, copy it, and then paste it into your new map. And I said earlier that the mod gets the files, gets these attributes from a file or from the web page. And the web page we're going to use today is pastebin.com. And it's free. You don't even need an account, and you can just go in there and create a new paste. Paste, copy, paste. And just to make this easy, I'm going to eliminate everything that isn't. These are all optional. Hey there, Slack. Everything except spawns. And what I'm going to do right now is just test to see if this works. By putting a star here. Map, star. And what I want to do is just see if I can get it to load this layout and make it work. So what I'm going to do is hit, there we go. So there's my thing. It ends with DoK map, starts with DoK map. Has a little bit of information in it. I'm going to go click paste. And what I just need here is the extension after pastebin.com. I'm going to go to multiplayer. And create the command line. So I need a chat box, and that's why you need multiplayer. to go, I need a layout at paste bin, space, and then there's the extension. And I told More Maps Mod to go to pastebin.com, to go to this address, get the raw text, bring it back into Deserts of Kharak, and load it as a layout. And so what I'm expecting is for it to go get that information, which is just basically the spawns here, and then go load it back into the game. What matters is, so this is going to be, some things are going to be like a filter. So if I had it on a certain map, it's only going to work on a certain map. If I had it on team or FFFA, it's only going to load on those certain type of game modes. These ones, the test, this is just for like keeping track of things. Description, authors, and players might have a function, I'm not sure. The thing, forgot. Well, let's see if that worked. Good. So I can tell that it went and made it work, because otherwise I'd have, you know, my starting, my spawn location here, my expansion, and my third artifact, extraction zones. And I can tell it worked. That's a success. Great. So we'll look at how to load those, figure out the map we want, the layouts we want in the next video. Thank you.